So the question is, do modern women prefer feminine men over masculine men? Now, I posted that question here on our community page and we received over 22,000 votes. Now, of course, I've got my opinions about this and I thought you guys for sure were going to go one direction, but the results of the poll, yeah, I'll talk about that at the end of this video, but the comments, those were gold. So one of the top comments came from Tom and he said, I've been dating women in their 40s for the last few years, including a few strong independent women types, and no matter how independent they are, all, without exception, desired a take charge masculine guy. The number of times I heard it's so nice to be with a real man. Now, I'm no testosterone-driven action man, just an old-school gentleman who can make a decision and doesn't tolerate BS. That's all it takes. Next up, we had Foghorn saying it all depends on the age of the woman and what region of the country they come from and their parental upbringing on this question. Big city women on the coasts and some other big cities on the interior of the US, more times than not, want a femi man. You get into more rural areas, women want masculine men. Other guys like Atraxi said, you know what? I've reached a point where I no longer know what they want. I keep seeing women say one thing, but do the opposite. Next up, you had Nico. His opinion was that women want what serves them best in the moment. That changes over time. Next up, we had Sammy Derrick weighed in saying, based on conversations I've had with various women, most prefer masculine men, but with a slight feminine touch. Now that seemed to be a reoccurring thing with here, there, and everywhere saying, from my experience, girls usually look for a guy that while he's masculine in a typical way, takes initiative and showcases a little strength, he can also be emotionally available, intelligent, and acknowledge her feelings. Basically, he's saying that they want a masculine man that's in touch with his feminine side. Now, personally, I really like this answer. It aligns with my beliefs that I think a man should have strength. A man should show initiative. A man needs to, at the same time, be emotionally available. So not many of you guys know this, but I was raised by two women, my mom and my aunt. They were the two adults in my life that I looked to, and they gave me a lot of guidance, but they expected me as a young man to be able to step into certain roles that they weren't able to fill. That being said, they stressed with me that one of my faults was that I didn't share. I didn't open up about problems, and I don't think I'm the only guy that has this issue. That being said, they talked about the men in my family. One of the issues they had is not being able to open up, to share their problems. And to be honest, it has been a problem I've struggled with my entire life. Now, gents, I'm bringing this up because there's a good chance that you could be dealing with an issue, in particular, erectile dysfunction. Did you know it affects 52% of men at some point in their lives? And despite ED being so common, a lot of guys are ashamed of it and they're letting it negatively affect their relationship with their partner. Gents, if you're dealing with ED, if this sounds like you need to check out Roman, the sponsor of today's video. Now, in case you're not familiar with Roman, it's a digital health clinic for men. Basically, the Roman platform utilizes US licensed medical professionals who provide effective FDA-approved treatment for erectile dysfunction. In a nutshell, Roman is a platform that allows you to be evaluated, diagnosed, and receive treatment from the comfort of your own home for erectile dysfunction. The initial online visit and all follow-ups are free, and all products shipped to you are discreet with free 2-day shipping. And Roman's a lot more than just ED. Guys, if you're dealing with premature ejaculation, hair loss, or any other concerns for men, check them out for solutions. Guys, when it comes down to it, you got a lot of things on your mind. Dealing with ED shouldn't be one of them. That's why I love Roman. They make treating ED convenient. So to get started, gents, go to getroman.com/RMRS for a free online visit. And if approved, you'll get $15 off your first order of ED treatment plus free 2-day shipping. Again, that's getroman.com/RMRS. Use that link in the description of today's video to go check out Roman if you're dealing with any type of men's issues. Great company, proud to support them. Now, this next comment from Nathan Wright was a great one, and he said there's a huge difference between being masculine and being a complete. I'm a masculine male, but a lot of men mistake its meaning and get wrapped up by pride. Just because one wants to be all macho and strong doesn't mean treat someone, especially women, like they're any less and be. Being a gentleman and treating everyone with respect is the most masculine trait a real man can have. one can still be masculine and be courteous, kind, and helpful to others. Seriously, Nathan, you made a solid point. I actually loved your comment. It was one of the best ones I saw in the entire thread. He also said it isn't healthy to bottle in feelings because that will lead to them to explode all at once in the form of rage or depression. These things don't make anyone any less of a man. It's honor and chivalry and being human. Next up, we had Arjun Sinha, and he said, I believe a man must have both traits. He should be soft yet hearty, emotional yet realistic. Actually, the same goes for everybody. We must incorporate dynamism within ourselves so that we can be suitable for all kinds of people around us. Now, I think what I really liked about this comment is it forces you to reevaluate, was it even a good question that was asked? I mean, we're talking about feminine versus masculine. We're trying to pit them against each other. And really, do we have a good definition of what a masculine man actually is? And Noah Washington added on to this by saying it's deft to speak in broad strokes on this. In the age of sexual gender ambiguity, I think women want men who are more emotional in touch while maintaining a sense of self-confidence and intrigue. Now, one thing a lot of you guys may not know is that 8% of the Real Men Real Style audience is women. So we did have a few comments from the ladies. Leafy said, I think that's true when we're young, but most of us grow out of it. Feminists have made people think that what they want, an easily dominated man, is what most women want. They're just the loudest of us, not the most of us. They can keep Harry Styles. I'll stick with Ivar the Boneless. To be honest, I have no idea who this Ivar guy is. I'm gonna have to look him up. All right, interesting. I can see why she likes him. Now, Mirror Mansion makes a great point that there are so many women out there. He said it varies between women. We also got to remember that what was considered feminine has changed too. I don't think women who like men with clean nails want a feminine man per se. I mean, that's a good point. Who wants to be getting intimate with somebody with dirty hands, dirty nails? Yeah, that's just on a man or a woman. That sounds disgusting. Now, Ashley Frank asked the question, this can be a politically controversial question, Antonio. Are you sure you want to go down this route? I'm just having fun here. I'm just throwing out the question. I think it's interesting the way people interpret it. Some people did make a political scene about this. Other people just simply answered it to the best of the ability. And that's what I was really looking for. And let's talk about culture. I love what Nick Schultz had to say. He said, in this country, in the West, generally, straight women are attracted to more masculine men. But that being said, it depends on the culture. Many East Asian countries have also been challenging that norm for decades with male celebrities with more feminine features and style. I think it all comes down to the individual taste as a collective that affects the culture at large, and challenging some of these notions will give everyone a better understanding of what different people are attracted to. It's a solid point. Now, of course, many of the opinions in the comments I didn't necessarily agree with. One gentleman said that feminine men are easier for women to control, and women feel more comfortable around feminine men because they are less threatening. That I don't really know if that's the case. I know a lot of women, they feel more comfortable around strong masculine men because they feel, in a sense, better protected. Also, I know a lot of women who are, feminists who actually prefer a man who isn't afraid, within reason and not over the top. I think it was one woman, she said, I don't know. This was a forgettable name. It was pretty good. I can't speak for all of womankind, but I think when it comes down to it, it really depends on what you determine to be masculine. And this was a good point. She talked about, if you define masculinity as being a leader, strong-willed, not backing down, then yeah, there's a lot of people into that. But if your definition of masculinity involves not showing any emotion, being aggressive, thinking all men have to act a certain way to be a man, then that's toxic masculinity, and that's not for me. Overall, I think she makes a good point, except for the fact of using the word toxic masculinity. You guys can let me know down in the comments if you agree or disagree, but I don't like the word toxic associated with masculinity. I feel that they're just trying to bring down the word masculinity by associating it with the word toxic. Whenever someone talks about toxic masculinity, this is a guy that's expressing characteristics which are not masculine, in my opinion. The word masculine itself should be reserved for a positive connotation, not trying to be dragged down by associating that negative word. Whenever people talk about guys that are overly aggressive, that are doing things, that's not a definition of of masculinity, so I don't see why those two words have to come together. Again, I know a lot of you guys have your opinions on this, so let me know in the comments down below what your thoughts are on the word toxic masculinity. Should it even be a word? Next up, I want to highlight what John Hinson had to say. To each his own, but there is nothing negative about a man who has more feminine traits than masculine traits. I can see him being a better companion and conversationalist with an open mind and the ability to share human traits and not just hide behind a wall of boring macho BS. Stunted emotional expression, narrow-minded opinions about what it means to be a real man, all of this needs to fall away. A real man shows himself in his character, which does not mean toxic masculinity. And I like how he defines it here as contempt for gays, misogynist, and patronizing attitude towards women, for example, or religious extremism. So yeah, whether you agree, disagree, what I liked about what John had to say there is he laid out his point. He defined what he meant by certain words. Overall, a great comment, because whether you like it or not, you have to say, hey, the guy stated his opinion clearly. And that's what I love about, you guys, when you're down in the comments, when you give a great comment that actually adds value. I always try to reach out to you guys and offer you a challenge coin. So I've got a few that I would love to give away. Again, I want to hear from you guys. What are your thoughts on toxic masculinity? Does it exist? Is it a misuse of the word? Again, let me know in the comments below. I'm looking forward to your guys' interactions. All right, guys, so what video to watch next? How not to fail with women. Seriously, guys, in this video, I love it because I go into Reddit, find out what I'm talking about in this video by clicking on that. Yeah, go check it out. It's a good one.